Welcome back to the channel Coins Buyers, everyone, and thank you for joining us today as we dive into the fascinating world of coin collecting and uncover the hidden treasures that exist right in your pocket change, specifically focusing on the 1997 D Lincoln 1 cent, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors, investors, and numismatic enthusiasts around the globe due to its remarkable history, unique errors, and the astonishing potential value that far exceeds its face value. The Lincoln penny, a staple of American currency since 1909, has long been cherished not only for its historical significance but also for its potential to become a rare collectible, and the 1997 D Lincoln cent is a perfect example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can hold extraordinary worth. Minted at the Denver Mint, indicated by the D Mint mark, this coin typically circulates in millions. Yet a specific subset of these pennies has drawn the attention of serious collectors due to errors and anomalies that make them highly desirable and, in some cases, incredibly valuable. Errors can occur in the minting process due to a variety of reasons, including die flaws, misalignment, double strikes, off-center strikes, and planchet errors, and each of these factors can dramatically increase a coin's value because they represent a deviation from the standard production, making each affected coin a one-of-a-kind item. Among the 1997 D Lincoln pennies, collectors have identified multiple categories of errors, including double die obverse and reverse, where the image on the coin appears doubled due to a misalignment of the die during striking, creating a visual effect that makes the letters, numbers, or images appear to have a shadow or duplication. Additionally, die cracks and die breaks are found on some 1997 D pennies, resulting in raised lines or anomalies on the coin's surface, which are highly sought after by collectors because they are permanent indicators of the coin's production history and can often tell the story of the minting process itself. Another intriguing error is the off-center strike, where the coin design is not perfectly aligned with the planchet, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted, and in extreme cases, the coin can display a nearly unrecognizable pattern that makes it exceedingly rare and valuable. Furthermore, some 1997 D Lincoln pennies exhibit planchet errors, including clipped planchets or lamination flaws, where the metal is improperly prepared or contains impurities, producing unique shapes or surface anomalies that collectors prize for their rarity and aesthetic appeal. One of the most captivating aspects of these coins is the presence of mint mark errors, where the D mint mark itself may be misplaced, doubled, repunched, or missing entirely. And such anomalies drastically increase the coin's desirability because they represent a deviation from the standard that collectors actively seek out, often commanding premium prices in the market. The rarity of these errors combined with the demand from collectors has led to the 1997 D Lincoln penny being associated with astronomical potential values, with some reports suggesting the total worth of these rare error coins could approach hundreds of millions of dollars collectively, even reaching a figure as eye-popping as $786 million, far surpassing their face value of 1 cent each, which demonstrates the profound impact that minting anomalies, historical significance, and collector demand can have on a coin's market value. Beyond the physical errors, the story behind the 1997 D Lincoln penny also contributes to its allure, as collectors and enthusiasts are drawn to coins that reflect not just monetary value but also cultural and historical narratives, connecting modern collectors to a lineage of American coinage that spans more than a century. Starting with the original Lincoln cent designed by Victor David Brenner and continuously evolving in its production methods, metal composition, and minting techniques. The combination of high mintage numbers for standard coins and the comparatively tiny number of known error specimens creates a fascinating dynamic where rarity, condition, and type of error converge to establish the market value, and within the context of the 1997 D Lincoln penny, certain error types are incredibly scarce, such as those with significant die doubling on both the obverse and reverse, or off-center strikes that exceed 50% of the coin being misaligned, or rare mint mark. Repunching incidents, each representing a tangible piece of numismatic history and offering collectors a tangible opportunity for financial appreciation. It is also worth noting that the condition, or grade, of these coins plays a crucial role in their valuation, as coins that maintain sharp details, minimal wear, and pristine surfaces, often graded as MS65 or higher by professional grading services, can command prices many times higher than their circulated counterparts, and collectors are willing to invest significant sums to acquire such specimens, particularly when combined with verified error types that make the coin uniquely collectible. Moreover, the fascination with the 1997 D Lincoln penny is amplified by its accessibility, as many collectors enjoy the thrill of searching through rolls of pennies to uncover potential treasures, a pursuit that combines historical interest, a sense of adventure, and the excitement of the unknown. Because even a single coin with a noticeable minting error can transform an ordinary collection into a highly prized trove. In addition to the well-documented errors, there are countless possibilities for unreported or newly discovered anomalies in 1997 D Lincoln pennies, as ongoing searches by numismatists and hobbyists continue to reveal coins that display unusual characteristics, whether they be minute die cracks, subtle doubling, or rare planchet flaws that went unnoticed for decades. Each discovery adding to the overall mystique and value of these coins. This dynamic market of error coins has created a community of collectors, dealers, and enthusiasts who actively trade, buy, and sell rare specimens, and in doing so, they contribute to the cultural and financial significance of coins like the 1997 D Lincoln penny, ensuring that even coins of minimal face value can achieve remarkable worth through a combination of rarity, error type, condition, and historical interest. For those interested in the investment potential of these coins, it is crucial to understand that authentication and grading are essential steps, as professional evaluation ensures that a coin's error type is genuine, its condition is accurately assessed, and its market value is substantiated, thereby protecting both collectors and investors from misrepresentation and preserving the integrity of the numismatic market. Beyond monetary considerations, the 1997 D Lincoln penny also represents a tangible connection to American history, design, and artistry, serving as a miniature artifact of national heritage, with its imagery of Abraham Lincoln, one of the most iconic figures in American history, reminding collectors of the broader context in which the coin was created and circulated. The combination of historical significance, artistic merit, production anomalies, rarity, and collector demand culminates in a scenario where the 1997 D Lincoln penny transcends its humble denomination and enters the realm of high-value collectibles, with specific era coins capable of reaching thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars individually, and when considered collectively. The total potential market value can indeed reach staggering heights approaching $786 million, illustrating the incredible disparity between face value and collectible worth. Ultimately, the story of the 1997 D Lincoln penny serves as a testament to the excitement and depth of the coin collecting world, where meticulous attention to detail, patience, historical knowledge, and a keen eye for anomalies can uncover treasures that are both financially and historically rewarding, making every coin, every mint mark, every die flaw, and every slight deviation from the standard an opportunity for discovery, education, and appreciation within the broader context of American numismatics, and this enduring appeal ensures that collectors will continue to search, study, and cherish these coins for generations to come, keeping the legacy of the Lincoln penny alive and highlighting how even a single cent, when affected by rare errors, mistakes, or unique minting anomalies, can achieve a value that is truly remarkable and life-changing, demonstrating that the intersection of rarity, history, and human curiosity can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary in ways that continue to captivate, inspire, and fascinate collectors, investors, and enthusiasts alike, solidifying the 1997 D Lincoln penny as not only a coin of American heritage but also a symbol of the incredible possibilities that lie within the world of numismatics, where one small copper disc can hold secrets, stories, and a value far beyond its humble 1-cent face. The most fascinating and controversial stories in modern American coin collecting, the legendary 1992 Lincoln 1-cent Liberty penny, a coin that on the surface looks exactly like the penny you may have ignored thousands of times, tossed into jars, left in drawers, or spent without a second thought, yet according to collectors, researchers, error specialists, and long-running numismatic legends, Certain extremely rare versions of this humble copper-colored coin are believed to be worth as much as $68 million, a value so shocking that it completely rewrites the way people think about face value, money, and the hidden power of minting mistakes. And today we are going to explore why this single-cent coin from 1992 has captured so much attention, how mint errors, mistakes, and mint mark abnormalities can transform a common penny into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, and why the possibilities surrounding this coin continue to fuel excitement, debate, and relentless searching across the world, starting with a brief look at the background of the 1992 Lincoln cent itself, which was produced during a period when the United States Mint was transitioning through subtle design, dye, and production changes, still using the familiar Lincoln obverse that had been in place for decades and the Lincoln Memorial reverse that would later be replaced by the Union Shield, making 1992 one of the final years of a long-running design era. And while hundreds of millions of these pennies were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints for circulation, most of them are worth exactly 1 cent today, which is precisely why the few that escape the mint with dramatic and unique errors are so astonishing, because in the world of coin collecting, value is not based on what a coin is supposed to be, but on how different it is from what it was intended to be. And that difference is where the story of the $68,001,992 penny begins, with the concept of minting errors themselves, which occur when something goes wrong during the complex, high-speed industrial process of producing coins, a process involving planchet preparation, metal composition, blanking, upsetting, die creation, hubbing, striking, and inspection, and at any one of these stages a small mistake can occur. But occasionally a catastrophic, or extremely unusual mistake slips through quality control and enters circulation, becoming a numismatic anomaly. And when that anomaly is rare enough, visually dramatic enough, and historically significant enough, collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums for the chance to own it, and the 1992 Lincoln penny is believed to host several such possibilities, starting with the most famous and widely discussed, the close AM versus wide AM reverse error, an error that on the surface sounds minor but in reality represents a fundamental die mismatch. Because the letters A and M in America on the reverse of Lincoln Memorial pennies are supposed to have a specific spacing depending on the year and die style, and in 1992 the business strike pennies were intended to have a close AM, where the letters nearly touch, while proof coins had a wide AM, where there is a noticeable gap. But due to die mixing or improper die use, a very small number of 1992 pennies are believed to have been struck with the wrong reverse die, creating a 1992 close-state wide AM or reverse mismatch. And while documented examples of the 1992 close AM error already sell for extremely high prices compared to face value, some collectors believe that undiscovered variations, including transitional die states or hybrid dies combined with other errors, could push the value into the realm of legend, especially if a unique specimen were discovered showing additional abnormalities, such as doubled dies, off-metal strikes, or extreme planchet errors. Which brings us to the concept of doubled dies, another major factor that could elevate a 1992 penny into the multi-million-dollar range, because doubled dies occur during the die creation process when the hub impresses the design onto the die more than once in a misaligned way, resulting in doubled lettering, dates, or design elements. And unlike machine doubling, true doubled dies are highly collectible and represent a permanent flaw in the die itself, meaning every coin struck from that die will show the doubling. And while well-known doubled die pennies like the 1955 or 1969s are already legendary, the possibility of a dramatic, previously unknown doubled die on a 1992 penny, especially one combined with the close AM or wrong reverse, would create a coin so unique that it would be effectively priceless, particularly if it displayed strong, visible doubling on the date, the word liberty, or the motto "I in God we trust," all of which are focal points for collectors. And then there is the matter of mint mark errors, which add another layer of intrigue to the 1992 Lincoln cent story. Because mint marks are applied to the die to indicate where a coin was produced, with 1992 pennies primarily coming from Philadelphia with no mint mark and Denver with a D mint mark, but mint mark errors can occur when the mint mark is improperly punched, misplaced, doubled, missing, or even added from the wrong die, and in rare cases coins have been found with over-mint marks, repunched mint marks, or mint marks that appear where they should not exist at all. And if a 1992 penny were discovered with a genuine mint mark anomaly such as a double D, an inverted D, a mint mark punched over another, or an unauthorized mint mark combination tied to other errors, it would immediately place that coin in a category of extreme rarity, because such errors are not supposed to exist for that year, and collectors pay extraordinary premiums for coins that challenge established mint records. And the $68 million valuation often cited in discussions of this penny is not based on any single confirmed sale but on theoretical maximum value scenarios, where a coin combines multiple top-tier errors in one specimen, creating what collectors call a perfect storm error, and that is where the possibilities truly explode, because imagine a 1992 Lincoln penny struck on the wrong planchet, perhaps a bronze planchet intended for an earlier year or even a foreign planchet, already making it a wrong metal error, then struck with a double die obverse showing dramatic doubling on the date and liberty, paired with a wrong reverse die showing a wide AM or other transitional design, and finished with a mint mark error such as a doubled or misplaced E, all preserved in high grade due to minimal circulation. Such a coin would not merely be rare, it would be unique, a one-of-one artifact of minting chaos, and in numismatics uniqueness drives value beyond conventional price guides. Because when two or more wealthy collectors want the same one-of-a-kind coin, the price can escalate without limit, especially when the coin represents a historical anomaly that cannot be replicated, and this is why the 1992 Lincoln penny continues to be searched for obsessively, because unlike ancient coins or limited-issue commemoratives, these pennies were released into circulation, meaning they could theoretically still be hiding in everyday change, forgotten collections, or inherited jars. And that possibility fuels the dream that an ordinary person could stumble upon an extraordinary fortune, and the face value difference is what makes this story so powerful, because the idea that a coin worth 1 cent could be worth millions challenges our assumptions about money itself, reminding us that value is not inherent but a sign based on rarity, demand, and story, and the story of the 1992 penny is layered with mystery, speculation, and real documented errors, which keeps it alive in collector communities, online forums, and auction houses. And while skeptics argue that $68 million is an exaggerated figure, proponents point to the history of record-breaking coin sales, where once unimaginable prices have become reality, such as coins selling for tens of millions due to rarity and historical significance, and they argue that a unique modern-era coin, representing the end of an era in penny design and the failure of modern minting perfection, could one day command a similar price if the right specimen is found and the right buyers compete for it. And beyond the technical aspects, there is also the psychological factor, because collectors are driven not just by metal and errors but by the thrill of discovery, the prestige of ownership, and the desire to possess something no one else has, and the 1992 Lincoln penny embodies all of that, sitting at the intersection of common and rare, ordinary and extraordinary, history and chance. And that is why even decades after its release, it remains one of the most talked about pennies in circulation, inspiring people to examine their change with fresh eyes, to learn about minting processes, and to appreciate how even small mistakes can create massive value. And as long as there is even a slim possibility that an undiscovered example exists with the right combination of errors, the legend of the $68,001,992 Lincoln cent will continue to grow, reminding us that sometimes the greatest treasures are hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to look closely and patient enough to understand what they are seeing. And that is the enduring magic of coin collecting and the reason why this single cent from 1992 has earned its place among the most fascinating and potentially valuable coins ever imagined. And unbelievable stories hiding in everyday pocket change. Then you are in exactly the right place, because today we are diving deep into one of the most mysterious and talked about modern U.S. coins, the 1985 Lincoln 1-cent Liberty Penny, a coin that most people have spent without a second thought, yet under extraordinary circumstances has been linked to a jaw-dropping estimated worth reaching as high as $62 million, a value that seems impossible when compared to its simple face. value of just 1 cent, and yet the fascination surrounding this coin continues to grow among collectors, historians, and everyday people who suddenly start checking their old jars of pennies. Because the 1985 Lincoln cent is not just about copper and zinc, it is about rare errors, mint mark mysteries, production mistakes, and the tiny details that can transform a humble penny into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And to truly understand how this could happen, we must first appreciate the era in which this coin was produced. Because 1985 was a transitional time for U.S. coinage, the Lincoln cent by then had already shifted from its original bronze composition to a copper-plated zinc core, a change that had occurred in the early 1980s due to rising metal costs. But this change itself opened the door to countless production anomalies, because any time a mint alters composition, equipment, or processes, the possibility for errors increases dramatically, and the 1985 Lincoln cent sits right in the middle of this complex manufacturing environment, being struck in massive quantities at multiple mint facilities, including Philadelphia and Denver, each mint using high-speed presses that produced millions of coins daily. And when production numbers are that high, quality control becomes a challenge, which is exactly where rare and valuable errors can slip through unnoticed, errors that collectors later obsess over. Because errors are not defects, they are historical accidents frozen in metal, and the more dramatic and unique the accident, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially when it survives in good condition. And the 1985 Lincoln cent is rumored to host some of the most intriguing and extreme error possibilities ever associated with a modern penny, starting with double die errors, one of the most famous and valuable error types in U.S. coinage, where the coin design appears doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process. And while minor doubling is relatively common, strong and clear doubled dies affecting the date, the word liberty, the motto "I in God we trust," or even Lincoln's portrait itself can send values skyrocketing, because collectors pay premiums for dramatic visual evidence of the error. And in the case of the 1985 penny, some reported examples show unusually bold doubling that far exceeds normal machine doubling, leading to intense speculation that a previously undocumented major doubled die could exist. And if such a coin were confirmed, especially in pristine condition, it could instantly become one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever discovered. But doubling is only one piece of the puzzle, because mint mark errors add another layer of rarity and intrigue, particularly involving the Denver mint mark, the small d that appears beneath the date on many 1985 pennies, because mint marks were punched into the dies by hand at that time, which means human error was always possible, leading to misplaced mint marks, tilted mint marks, repunched mint marks, or even missing mint marks. And while Philadelphia coins traditionally had no mint mark, confusion and die mixing could still result in odd combinations that challenge conventional expectations, and collectors love coins that break the rules, because rule breakers are rare, and rarity is the foundation of value. And some theories suggest that experimental dies or improperly prepared dies may have produced a handful of 1985 pennies with abnormal mint mark characteristics that were never meant to leave the mint, coins that slipped into circulation quietly and waited decades to be recognized for what they truly are. And then there are off-metal errors, among the most dramatic and valuable mistakes possible, where a coin is struck on the wrong planchet entirely. And in the context of the 1985 Lincoln cent, this could mean being struck on a leftover bronze planchet from earlier years, or even on a foreign coin blank or a planchet intended for another denomination. And such errors are extremely rare because planchets are carefully controlled, yet history has shown that off-metal strikes do occur, and when they do, they can command astonishing prices, especially when authenticated. And a 1985 penny struck on a pre-1982 bronze planchet would already be worth a fortune due to its unexpected metal content. But if combined with additional errors such as doubling or misalignment, the value could climb into legendary territory, which brings us to the subject of wrong composition and transitional errors, because transitional years are notorious for producing rare coins, and although the main transition from bronze to zinc occurred earlier, leftover materials, experimental testing, or mint mishandling could still create anomalies years later. And the idea that a 1985 penny could exist with an incorrect metal composition is one of the reasons collectors remain endlessly fascinated by this date, because such a coin would challenge established records and rewrite what we know about U.S. mint practices, and rewriting history is priceless in the world of numismatics, but composition errors are only part of the story, because striking errors add yet another dimension, including off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and multiple strike errors, where a coin is struck more than once in misaligned positions, creating ghostly overlapping images that look almost unreal, and when such errors are extreme and well preserved, they can command enormous premiums, particularly if they are visually stunning, and a dramatic multi-strike 1985 Lincoln cent with clear design elements and strong eye appeal would be a showstopper at any auction, potentially drawing bids from elite collectors around the world. And then there is the mysterious world of die errors, including die cracks, die breaks, and retained cut errors, where portions of the die break away and leave raised blobs of metal on the coin, sometimes large enough to distort Lincoln's face or cover parts of the design. And while minor die cracks are common, massive retained cut errors are not, and when they occur on popular coins like the Lincoln cent, they can become highly desirable, especially if the error is unique, or nearly so, and uniqueness is where values can explode, because when there is only one known example of a coin, the market value is no longer constrained by price guides or past sales, it is determined solely by what someone is willing to pay, and when wealthy collectors compete, numbers can reach astonishing heights, and this is where the legendary $62 million valuation enters the conversation, because such a figure would not apply to an ordinary 1985 penny, nor even a common error, but rather to a hypothetical perfect storm of rarity, involving multiple major errors combined into a single coin. Possibly a wrong planchet, doubled die, misaligned strike, and mint mark anomaly all in one, authenticated, documented, and backed by undeniable provenance, creating a coin so extraordinary that it transcends traditional collecting categories and becomes a historical artifact, a symbol of minting imperfection, and a centerpiece for the world's most advanced collections. And it is important to understand that in numismatics, value is not only about metal or age, it is about story, mystery, and the unanswered questions that surround a coin. And the 1985 Lincoln cent has inspired countless discussions. Precisely because of what we do not yet fully know, because new discoveries are still being made, hoards are still being searched, and technology continues to improve, allowing collectors to detect errors that were once invisible to the naked eye. And every time someone posts a new find online or submits a coin for grading, the possibility of a groundbreaking discovery reemerges, fueling speculation and excitement. And beyond physical errors, condition plays a massive role in value, because a coin with a rare error in poor condition will never reach its full potential, while the same error in near perfect or mint state condition can multiply its value exponentially. And if a unique 1985 penny error were discovered in pristine condition, untouched by circulation, with full luster and sharp details, it would be nothing short of miraculous, because most error coins suffer damage or wear before they are noticed. And condition rarity combined with error rarity is the ultimate formula for extreme value. And then there is the psychological element of collecting, the human desire to own something no one else has, something that challenges expectations and sparks conversation, and a penny worth millions does exactly that, because it flips the script on what people believe about money, transforming the smallest denomination into the greatest treasure. And this is why stories about valuable pennies spread so quickly, because they inspire hope, curiosity, and the thrill of the hunt, encouraging people to look closer at the everyday objects they take for granted. And the 1985 Lincoln cent stands as a perfect example of this phenomenon, because it exists at the intersection of common and extraordinary. The hidden stories, surprising values, and unbelievable secrets behind everyday coins that most people overlook. And in this video we are diving deep into one of the most talked about and mysterious modern U.S. coins, the 1983 D. Lincoln 1-cent Liberty Penny, a coin that many people have held in their hands, spent without thinking twice, or tossed into a jar. Yet under very rare circumstances this humble 1-cent coin has been linked to jaw-dropping valuations reaching as high as $21 million, A number that sounds impossible when you remember its face value is just a single cent. But what makes this coin different? What separates an ordinary 1983 D penny worth 1 cent from an extraordinary specimen worth more than luxury homes, rare art, or even supercars, lies in a fascinating combination of errors, mint mistakes, metal composition anomalies, mint mark issues, and extremely rare possibilities that collectors around the world dream of discovering. And to understand how such a massive value gap can exist, we need to start with a short look at the background of the 1983 Lincoln cent itself, because 1983 was a critical year in U.S. coinage history, just 1 year after the United States Mint transitioned from copper-based pennies to copper-plated zinc cents in 1982, a change driven by rising copper prices. And while the official composition for 1983 Lincoln cents was supposed to be 97.5% zinc with a thin copper coating, the reality inside mint facilities was not always perfectly controlled, and this is where the story begins to get interesting, especially for coins struck at the Denver Mint bearing the D Mint mark, because during periods of transition leftover planchets, equipment calibration issues, human error, and mechanical malfunctions could all collide to produce coins that were never meant to exist. And among the most legendary and valuable possibilities is the presence of a 1983 D Lincoln cent struck on a leftover solid copper planchet instead of the intended zinc planchet, a mistake that should not have happened because copper planchets were officially discontinued by that time. Yet history has shown us again and again that transitional errors can and do escape into circulation. And if a genuine 1983 D penny were discovered struck on a pre-1982 solid copper planchet and verified by top grading services, its weight would be around 3.11 grams instead of the normal 2.5 grams for zinc cents, and this single difference would instantly place the coin into a category of extreme rarity, with collectors willing to pay astronomical sums for the chance to own what would essentially be a forbidden coin, a physical error frozen in time that contradicts official mint records, and the value explodes further when you consider condition, because a high-grade uncirculated or mint-state example with sharp details, full original luster, and minimal handling marks would be exponentially more valuable than a worn piece. And when collectors talk about figures like $21 million, they are not imagining a scratched brown penny pulled from pocket change, they are imagining a nearly perfect example, authenticated, certified, and proven beyond doubt, possibly unique, or one of only a tiny handful known, and rarity is the lifeblood of numismatics. But metal composition errors are only one piece of the puzzle. Because the 1983 D Lincoln cent is also famous for dramatic die errors that can turn a 1 cent coin into a collector's dream, including doubled dies where the design appears doubled due to misalignment during the die creation process. And while most people are familiar with strong doubled dies from earlier decades, subtle and extreme doubled die varieties can exist for later dates as well. And when a strong doubled die affects key areas like the date, the word Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or even Lincoln's profile, the coin instantly becomes far more desirable. And if such doubling is dramatic, clearly visible without magnification, and paired with other anomalies, the value can climb rapidly into 6 or 7 figures, especially if the coin is unique or nearly so. And then there are off-metal strikes, where a coin intended for one denomination is struck on a planchet meant for another, such as a dime, foreign coin, or experimental blank, and while extremely rare, such errors are not impossible. And a confirmed 1983 D Lincoln cent struck on an incorrect metal with unusual weight, thickness, and color could become one of the most valuable error coins ever discovered because it would represent a complete breakdown in mint quality control, something collectors find endlessly fascinating, and mint mark errors add another layer of intrigue, because the D mint mark itself could be missing, misplaced, doubled, or distorted due to die damage or punching errors. And while many minor mint mark anomalies are worth modest premiums, a major mint mark error combined with other factors can transform a coin into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, especially if the mint mark appears in an incorrect position, shows dramatic doubling, or exhibits evidence of repunching that is extreme and previously undocumented. And condition again plays a crucial role, because a high-grade example magnifies every error and makes it more visually striking and historically important. And then there are strike errors such as off-center strikes where the design is dramatically shifted, broad strikes where the coin spreads beyond its normal diameter, or partial collar errors where the rim is malformed. And while many of these are collected individually, a 1983 penny exhibiting multiple errors at once would be considered extraordinary, and multiple error coins are exponentially rarer than single error examples. And this is where the idea of million-dollar valuations becomes more understandable, because collectors are not just paying for metal, they are paying for uniqueness, story, and the thrill of owning something that should not exist. And the idea that a simple penny could carry such a story is part of what captivates people around the world. And even small details like die cracks, cuds, and retained die breaks can add value, especially if they dramatically alter Lincoln's portrait or the legends on the coin. And some late-stage die errors produce coins that look almost sculptural, with raised metal blobs and distorted features that make each piece visually unforgettable. And while many such coins sell for hundreds or thousands, an extreme example on a key transitional year like 1983 with a mint mark could push values far beyond typical expectations, especially if the coin can be linked to a specific short production run or mint incident. And then there is the human factor, the possibility that a coin sat unnoticed for decades, preserved in a drawer, jar, or album, quietly waiting for the right moment to be rediscovered. And stories of ordinary people finding extraordinary coins fuel the imagination and drive the market, and when rumors or documented sales suggest values in the multi-million-dollar range, interest intensifies, bringing attention from elite collectors, investors, and institutions, all competing for the chance to secure a legendary piece, and authentication becomes critical at this level. Because the difference between a zinc penny and a copper penny can be the difference between 1 cent and a fortune, and professional grading services use precise measurements, metallurgical testing, and microscopic analysis to confirm authenticity, and only coins that pass these rigorous standards can command the highest prices. And even then, provenance matters, the documented history of where the coin came from, who owned it, and how it surfaced, because a well-documented discovery adds credibility and narrative value, making the coin even more desirable, and the $21 million figure often associated with the most extreme hypothetical examples represents the absolute peak of what the market could bear for a unique, perfect, and historically significant error, a coin that checks every box: transitional metal error, dramatic visual impact, flawless condition, confirmed Denver Mint origin, and undeniable authenticity. And while such coins are extraordinarily rare and may never be found, the possibility alone is enough to make collectors carefully examine every 1983 penny they encounter, weighing them, studying them under magnification, and comparing them to known varieties, because numismatics is a field built on patience, knowledge, and hope. And even if the vast majority of 1983 Lincoln cents are worth only face value or a small premium, the idea that one could be worth millions keeps the hunt alive, and it reminds us that value is not always about what something is supposed to be worth, but about what it represents, the story it tells, and the rarity it embodies. And the Lincoln cent, with its long history, familiar design, and everyday presence, is the perfect canvas for these stories, because it bridges the gap between the ordinary and the extraordinary. And the 1983 penny stands as a symbol of that contrast, a coin that on the surface looks like any other, but under the right circumstances becomes a legend. And as long as these possibilities exist, people will continue to search their change, roll through penny boxes, and dream that the next coin they hold could be the one that changes everything. And that is the magic of coin collecting, where even a single cent can carry the weight of history, mystery, and unimaginable value.